the Smart Woman Podcast, a podcast series brought to you by Gabriela Mueller Coaching International. Your useful dose of coaching advice to help you get what you want more often with less trouble. Gabriela dives into big questions about what matters to women like you in the workplace. It's concrete, focused, and fun. Gabriela's coaching impacts thousands of women worldwide. Welcome to the Smart Woman Podcast. Now your host, Gabriela Mueller.
Welcome, women, my friends, chicas from around the world, powerful, smart women. You are in the right place where you're about to get inspiration, skills, ideas, and strategies that really work in the workplace. When you use this wisely, well, side effects might be success and getting what you want. So who doesn't want that? Interested? Great. Stay tuned. Are you an action-driven person? And if you are into using your resources, such as time, in the most effective way, and I know I am, well, this chapter and all these episodes are for you. In today's episode, I want to save you time and headaches. And what I mean by that is I want to give you 8 hints, 8 skills that if you invest in them today, they're going to pay off for the rest of your life, my dear. So that is not only in your professional life and also with any other role you hold in your personal life, with your neighbors, maybe with your kids' teacher, maybe with your friends, maybe with your spouse, maybe if you are impacting teenagers' lives or you have sons or daughters. These things are going to take you to the next level from wherever you are, the 2.0 version of yourself. And you may be wondering, okay, Gabriela, that sounds great. Where does this come from? Well, from years of curiosity and studying leadership, living it up every day. And I work with some of the absolute best people in different fields that I have chosen to be present and to add value. Anywhere from sport management, sport itself, with elite athletes and Olympians, politicians, heads of states, heads of companies, heads of schools and families. And I observe, and I'm a very curious person, not only follow who's doing the best practices and really go after them and really pick on their brains, meaning that I really talk to them and ask key questions. And I also invest in the best literature, courses, seminars. I invest not only in myself as a person, but also as a coach. I am always in the following trends, what's coming, where are the best ways to get my expertise to the next level. All right. So I want to save you time and money and energy by simply getting this information. Now, I know that the most important things in life are for free. That doesn't mean that they don't require time, sweat, and perseverance. So the things I want to share with you today are things that, yes, are easy to say and not so easy to get, because it takes practice, endurance, and perseverance, and grit, and really the fact that you are going to choose your battles, pick the ones that you want to tackle first, and then use them every day. And before we start, I want to make sure that we are connected and not only using or getting the benefits of this podcast, which you may share, of course, with your friends. I'd like to be also linked via social media. Why? For many reasons. First of all, it always builds up our supporting tribe of women supporting other women. Second, you get lots of other tools and training opportunities using this media to be linked with me, because I want you to get more access to information, to training opportunities that may only come to you via email. And if you are on Twitter, follow me on Gabriela Mueller, Instagram, Coach Gabriela Mueller, Facebook, Gabriela Mueller Coaching. Website is www.gabrielamueller.com, and you want to check out news, blogs, and resources. You're gonna get tons of value there. All right, so if you are anything like me, we are women adding value. We're connected to the world, and we want to make a difference. So whatever your platform is, whatever your dreams are, I am sure that you are here listening to the Smart Woman podcast because you want to get value to make a difference in your life Perhaps it's in your company. Perhaps you want to impact your team, your community, your country, whatever your platform is, that's what brought you here. Either you found me on the web, you are connected with me, or somebody shared this because they knew that you could get value. Now, because of that, I want to give you 8 things that if you center your attention or focus in any of these, 8 would be great, but you can also pick which ones are the ones for you. Okay, so after 15 years of working with some of the best world leaders, I can tell you that 1, speaking up and public speaking. Okay, so the first hack that I want to tell you, if you invest in it, is going to pay off for the rest of your life, my friends. Powerful chicas, you really want to invest on getting to the point where you can feel very confident in your communication skills, including verbal and non-verbal. How do you do this? You invest in communication skills, whether you are having a mentor, a coach, whether you want to go to your local Toastmasters club, which is a rhetoric club where people from around the world and all walks of life get together at least once or twice a month in different cities in the world. Pretty much close to you there is one. You might want to check it out, toastmasters.org. And I recall having invested years and years and years ago on Toastmasters. They helped me out becoming a better and more confident communicator. And then when I discovered that that was one of my strengths, I took it to the next level. And 15 years ago and consistently, I have been working on becoming even better. And now I am a public speaker and keynote speaker in different arenas. The one thing that I want to tell you, women, is your investment in this area is going to pay off in every meeting, in every presentation. When you take even your kids to school and you are the one who needs to say a word or two in front of the parents or the teachers. And it's going to be okay when you want to persuade people. It's going to be really handy when you want to influence others. So this one here is going to take you to the next level. And if you want more on that, you want to check out some of the past episodes where I have more thoroughly spoken about verbal and non-verbal communication. Okay, my dear, my next one is invest in increasing your self-confidence. I know, self-confidence is sometimes something that we all think that we're going to be becoming or getting more of as we grow up and we get wiser or smarter or older, or you fill in the blanks. I believe, though, that because of the coaching that I have done with women from around the world, all the way from senior leaders and C-suite level women who still are working and developing self-confidence, I can tell you that is something that we all need to continue working on. And if you are working on that, I can suggest a couple of things. Get out of your comfort zone slowly and surely in low stress situations. Try things that have not been part of your normal skill set or your repertoire of activities, and get out of your comfort zone. For some of you, it's going to be perhaps learning how to swim. For some of us, could be maybe enlisting yourself and taking part of a 5-kilometer race, or perhaps a marathon if you are already in a different level. Perhaps it's going to be speaking up in a meeting, raising your hand, and using other type of techniques in your workplace. Whatever gets you out of your comfort zone, little by little, baby steps at a time. And you're going to start feeling that sense of, hey, I can do this dopamine, this shot of dopamine, the hormone of accomplishment and pleasure. Every time you get something done and you can just be proud of yourself, champion yourself. And little by little, you're going to increase that level. And I can tell you now, a lot of people will look at me, they see me delivering a speech or launching a program, and they say, wow, you look very confident. And what they sometimes don't know is that I have been working on building up my confidence every day, every week. And I'm not saying it has been a walk in the park, because it hasn't, though it has been a consistent job that I have taken on my own. And there are still things that still make me very nervous and very unsure. For example, water is not my element. I love heights and I love speed. When it comes to water and depth, I'm still working on getting out of my comfort zone. And to tell you the truth, still when I get on those stand-up paddles, as I just did last weekend, if you saw my Instagram, I put out there some couple of pictures. That is not comfort zone. It's thrilling, it's exciting, it's sometimes scary, and I'm doing it. And every time I get off the paddle after maybe, getting into water 2 or 3 times per day, it feels better, it feels good, it feels like I am ready for the next challenge. And perhaps my next challenge doesn't have anything to do with water. Maybe it has something else to do with another conversation or with a project. Though now I've felt more empowered and more skillful and stronger, and that is what I want for you. Okay, the third skill that I want you to consider investing so it pays off for the rest of your life, my dears, is active listening. And active listening is not just the fact that you are going to be quiet while your other person is speaking. It means that you are fully present in the moment with the intention to understand where they are actually coming from. And where you're listening to them, you're not wondering how you are going to react or respond. Not yet. Your job as a listener being the one who understands. You get to ask questions, and with those questions are powerful questions, meaning they elicit an open conversation. It's an open question with an open-ended sentence, meaning they use the letter W in English. Why, how, when, who. Why being out of those perhaps the most powerful one. Then you can say you are a good listener. So be the last to speak, especially in delicate conversations. Instead of setting out the scenario and putting out the cards on the table and say, this is my suggestions, and now I want to go around the table and listen to your input. Well, guess what? Sometimes it's too late because you have not listened to their perspectives, their stories, where they're coming from. So 2 benefits out of investing in this skill is you are going to be receptive of people's information, meaning you are going to be gaining information, and information can be powerful. So get that piece of information first. And the second benefit, which is huge, is people get to feel listened to and valued. And that, amigas, is priceless. Sometimes teenagers, kids, somebody under stress, maybe a colleague who's under pressure, all they need is somebody to fully listen to them. And oftentimes that is the solution. You will be surprised how many problems and issues out of your life would be disappearing as you become a better listener. Okay, number 4, you're ready. Great. You want to imagine 2 big words in a whiteboard in front of you. If you are able to write them down right now in front of you, even better. On the left side, you're going to write important, and on the right side, you're going to write urgent. My friends, powerful women out there, those are 2 different things. The ability to distinguish in life and at work between the important stuff and the urgent stuff is going to be the fine line sometimes between a busy life and an effective, well-lived, fulfilling life. I'll explain. There is going to be always something that seems to be important, though in fact it's only urgent, and it's sucking your energy and you have a leakage of energy. It can be people, it can be a project, it can be a topic that always seems to pop up in the worst times in an urgent matter, and you just put it out there as if you were putting out fires. And at the end of taking care of that, you realize that didn't add value. That didn't make you feel better. That didn't impact your results and your outcomes positively. You just took care of something or somebody who had an emergency that was not really aligned with your values and with your objectives. And you have to wonder, you can do this exceptionally. Of course, there's going to be maybe a colleague or a friend who needs exceptionally something, and you will have to be very smart in deciding, is this something that I can just drop everything else that I'm doing and take care of this? Or is this already a tradition? Is it some kind of habit that they have because they come to you and they ask you for stuff, especially if you are in a busy moment? You are more prompt and more vulnerable to say yes when you are busy. Have you noticed? Okay, so that's urgent stuff, and that doesn't add value. Now, there is on the other side the important stuff that doesn't scream out of your agenda, and it doesn't necessarily become this red flag in your schedule, except that when you do not take care of that, it becomes later, both urgent and important. And then you will have to drop everything. You will be probably forced to drop everything to take care of it. So you can do a lot in your life when you don't let important stuff escalate even more and become important urgent. Okay, so amigas, the ability to distinguish between these two is going to save you sweat, tears, headaches, and it's going to actually be the difference between where you are sometimes feeling overwhelmed or busy, in a busy life, not effective, to your next level. I'll give you concrete examples. What is, for example, urgent, not important? Somebody comes to you Friday afternoon asking for help for a report that they themselves should have been able to generate because they know that you are such a nice person. They come and pop up Friday at 4 and they say, can you give me a hand? I just need it by Monday first thing in the morning. It's up to you because you can do this, like I said, exceptional. When you make this a habit, this will soon become a leak of your energy and time. On the other hand, you might have something that is not screaming out of urgency on your calendar. For example, a health checkup. You have to do it once a year, or maybe for some of you twice a year. And it's there. Going to the dentist, paying your taxes, all these things that are important. When you do not take care of them, they will become at some point urgent and important. They will probably change the course of your life, day, week, career, whatever that is. Okay, so distinguishing that. My recommendation, my friends, is at the beginning of your day, your first 2 hours statistically is shown to be the most important and also most productive time during the day. So what you want to do is important things first. If you have already something that is important, urgent, goes at the top of the priority list and you take care of this first, okay? And only then, when that is done, and you will be surprised when I ask people around the world, how much of this is important, urgent stuff? They say, well, it's maybe 5% at the top. Important stuff that hasn't become urgent is probably 20%. And then you would be surprised that by the rest, when that is done, when they look at their agenda, when they look at the emails and topics, they say, interesting. A lot of these other leftovers are only urgent stuff that is non-important. So be selective in your life with people, projects, ideas, and time. Okay, number 5, ladies, negotiating and bargaining. If you invest in getting sharp or sharper at negotiating, it's going to be paying off for the rest of your life. Not only when it comes to money, because if you go back to one of the past episodes when we thoroughly talk about negotiating salaries and raises and all these things, you will see that you will impact your income tremendously if you learn this skill. And to give you an idea, if you are investing in these particular skills in your first 3 years of your career, you may impact your total overall income in life and up to 25%. Think about it. The impact can be huge, not only financially, but with everything else that goes along with it. And here I have 2 words for you: transactional and personal. What does that mean? Learn to distinguish between negotiating in a personal level and a transactional level, meaning In a personal level, we are all negotiating, and we start negotiating already from home. Whoever has the remote control, you start negotiating. Are we going to watch TV, or we will never rent a movie? Were we going to go for Chinese for dinner? Or are we going to cook at home? You are negotiating with your family and friends and circles and even colleagues for stuff that doesn't have to do with business, right? And even that, it's sometimes for some of us outside our comfort zone. For me, I can say is perhaps the other part, which is the transactional part of negotiating. And here we need to distinguish. Women, there are things that we do and negotiate in a personal level. And what I'm talking about is transactional level, meaning when you're going to go and invest in buying a house, bargaining with that person has nothing to do with who you are as a person. This is a transactional moment when you're buying your car and you're making an offer. Getting sharp at these skills of negotiating at the transactional level is going to pay off for the rest of your life. And then, of course, this transactional level applies to getting, for example, a raise, a promotion. So think about it, invest in getting better at negotiating and bargaining. Okay, number 6, bear with me. We're getting to those 8 things that any woman out there listening to the Smart Woman podcast, I want them to know, because I want them all of you, to get your boldest dreams and objectives in life. So number 6, start before you feel you're ready. I know that for everybody out there, if you are a perfectionist or if you are a high achiever, this is going to rock your boat, because we're always, in many ways, if you're a high achiever, a high performer, you're thinking, I'm going to wait until I make everything else perfect so I can start. Or I'm going to wait for the perfect moment, because then when everything is aligned, then I'll just go and get it done. And guess what? Sometimes we do get all our ducks aligned and everything is perfect, we can just go. Though in today's times, life and development in your career will not be linear. In fact, it's more of a puzzle, it's perhaps a bit of a jungle. It's not anymore that stairway, that ladder that would be only 45-degree inclination. No, life is about finding your own ways, creating your different opportunities, identifying potential. So life doesn't display perfect situations. So here is the one thing. Start before you think you're ready. The perfect moment may never come. So if you're waiting to give that presentation until that other job appears or that other new boss comes, or if you're waiting for putting your name forward in an election or getting a promotion, or you have been waiting for 3 years and it's not the right time to ask for a raise, when is it going to be? Yes, be strategic, and at the same time, find yourself the courage to go forward with that what you want. It's been waiting there. For some of you, it's going to be that book you haven't written. Maybe for some of you, it's that presentation, that delicate conversation you need to have, that promotion you are going to ask for. The perfect day may never come. So here is one strategy that serves me over and over. From the moment I wake up in the morning and I decide to go and take a jog in the morning, and sometimes I don't feel like, and I just go and get it done, to the moment where I need to pick up the phone and then talk to somebody, make a move, pitch for business, deliver a presentation. The 5-second rule. And this is something that you can Google and watch amazing Mel Robbins talk about this. This is scientifically proven. When your brain goes from autopilot to a more decisive executive power in the frontal cortex of your brain, it moves from what you would normally do in a situation, which is in this case waiting and waiting, to really moving forward and taking action. So you want to start counting 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 as one of those rockets that is going to take off and launch into space. Okay, that's what you want to do. And every time you find yourself doubting for something exciting that you know it's an opportunity, if you do not move and take some kind of action and translate it into something tangible, within the next 5 seconds, from the moment it has popped to your mind to the moment you do something about it, there is a very high chance you're going to pull out the brakes. So the 5-second rule has helped me start before I think I'm ready, and the results have been really outstanding. And that's, again, something that I want for you. Number 7 comes from the world of sports. I have had the opportunity to train, coach in communication and leadership to people who have been performing at the highest levels of their own professional sports, Olympians. And when you observe people like Roger Federer or Serena Williams, Murray, I'm a fan when it comes to tennis and football. One of the things that I observe, and I have the possibility to have actually worked or talked to these people and work with them, and it's something that you can translate into benefits in business as well. The ability to ask and receive feedback, constructive feedback, critiques that are valuable and sometimes uncomfortable. So the question you can ask is, what needs to happen for me to go to the next level? What I need to do more of or less of in this particular situation, and asking for this several times, because people may not give you that piece of feedback right away. Is not a common practice. Once Sheryl Sandberg, the COO of Facebook, was asked who advances fastest and better, and she says, is the person who's able to take in feedback and apply it sooner than later. And so here is the one thing, is statistically we know that women in the workplace get less feedback than their male counterparts, out of 2 precise reasons. One is managers, for the most part, male managers in male-dominated environments do not have necessarily the words or the training to do this effectively, which results in very vague or ambiguous pieces of feedback, hard to implement. The second thing is statistics also show something that it's a reality, and you may know colleagues who are like that, perhaps you are like that, and I know that I used to be like this. Let's be brutally honest. Sometimes we women don't necessarily welcome feedback in an open way and an open mind. I actually coach male managers who struggle to give pieces of feedback that is so valuable. And they come to me and they said, I lead these female teams, and there are 2 or 3 individuals who I really need to give them delicate pieces of information as part of their annual review. And I struggle. I have sleepless nights before I need to talk to them because I'm afraid that I'm going to hurt their feelings. They are going to lose control of their emotions during the talk. And this happens over and over. So one of the things is, if you really want to get ahead and really be able to take yourself to the next level, being able to ask for and welcome positive and constructive feedback, even if it's not exactly the one that you want to hear, and being able to distinguish between the one that is going to help you and the one that you need to disregard, it's going to be key. So, ladies, feedback. And lastly, learn and welcome failure in life. Yes, let's celebrate failure. And I know for a lot of you out there, high performers, high achievers, or perfectionists, anybody like that in the room? Yeah, I know we're listening to the Smart Woman podcast. And when I say let's celebrate failure, I want to tell you that having a growth mindset after a failure is the one thing that is going to take you to your next level as a person and as a professional. In fact, if you think about some of the most important lessons that you have learned throughout your life, and go back to your early years, to your younger you, perhaps some of the most important lessons we got were exactly those after having failed at something. And not once, maybe many times. Success is not a destination, it's really a journey. And we have to be consistent and fail fast, fail sometimes over and over. Pick yourself up, amiga. Powerful women out there, perk up, dust yourself off, move on. Do not regret. The more you mourn, the more you ruminate failure, the more you repeat over and over that what didn't go well, what you said, what you missed, the more energy you will be wasting, which is the energy that you need to pick yourself up and recreate yourself. Look for an alternative. There is no opportunity. Go and create one. You need this energy to move on. Imagine Rowling, who wrote Harry Potter. She was refused in her scripts 16 times before she was accepted. Disney was at some point fired because of lack of imaginations. Can you imagine this? Now take it to your own life. I'm sure that there are strong figures out there in your life, a he or a she, who has failed perhaps more than once and has taught you the importance of failing, getting up, and trying again. In conclusion, you don't need an MBA or a PhD to invest in these things that are going to pay off for the rest of your life. Speaking up, within that, public speaking, increasing your level of confidence, active listening, distinguishing between important and urgent stuff in life. Learn how to negotiate and bargain even better. Start before you think you're ready. Ask and welcome feedback. And lastly, welcome failure, because it teaches us some of the most important things in life. Get up, dust off, and move on. Women, let's connect. Twitter, Gabriela Mueller. Instagram, Coach Gabriela Mueller. Facebook, Gabriela Mueller Coaching. And if you are serious about getting more strategies, you want to go and sign up, check out www.gabrielamueller.com. And now I wish you a fulfilling, productive day. Until next time in the Smart Woman podcast. Hasta la vista.